going on, everyone? It's Zach again. Welcome back to another video. So today I'm just analyzing my perfect run from Dungeon Quest, the Canals map. This is just to help people who need help on soloing and just people that just want to get or try to get perfect runs in the canals. This is just a video showing off how I do my perfect runs and what route I take in order to avoid attacks, dodge stuff, and some maybe a little bit of shortcuts. I'm not sure, but let's get started with this video. So everything gets started. Right now I'm level 118. I carry 2 blade storms. That's all I use for this video or this map. So I start off with 1 blade storm. That's all I use, and once I hit this point I start going and using the other blade storm. I circle back around. I know the mages are gonna fire in this area right here. So if I go back here, you can see when I reach this point in the map, I know the mages are going to fire right here, and that's why I move up this way. And I learned about this timing, so by the time I attract the mages over here and move to this spot, I know they're gonna fire. So that's why I move up to avoid the attack and use another blade storm, and then finish off the rest of the mobs. Except I did miss one over here, but that doesn't really matter. Alright, moving on to the first boss here. I wait for all my cooldowns to come through, and then one thing I do here at the first boss is I wait for it to do its orb attack or spread shot, then I wait. The thing about this first boss that makes it easier when soloing, because I find the first boss one of the easiest ones to when soloing, because you don't have to deal with people distracting the boss and everything and having the boss aim at them. What I do is typically when the line comes in, you see this line, the line will always go vertical and then will go horizontal from where it's it will start off vertical, and then afterwards it'll go horizontal from the angle it's shooting from. So you can see he's shooting this way, so I know that the line's gonna be right here, so that means I just have to go behind him, and then I won't get hit by the lines. So you see I go directly behind him, and then I didn't get hit by the lines right there. And then something about the minions right here, these little blue minions. There's 2 things that I usually do. So basically I zoom out the map to check where the minion is, and then I determine if that's a good or bad spot. Good spots is basically where, so basically you can see that I'm circling the boss right now, and if I circle the boss and if I continue circling and I hit the minion over here, that's a bad spot. But if I circle and the minion follows me from behind, that's a good spot. So you can see here, if I go around and the minion spawns, he's gonna go right here, and I'm gonna go right here, so we're gonna collide, so it's a bad spot. So what I do is I see the minion come, and then I wait in this specific spot, because I know if I go over here I'm gonna die because of the minion. So I wait and I dodge the boss, one of the boss's stripes attack, or I call it the stripes, or the horizontal line attack, whatever you like to call it. So I wait, and then after the lines are gone, and then I circle around the minion, then I go and I have it chase me until it's gone, and then I just repeat the process until I defeat the boss. Pretty simple, actually. You can see right here in this spot, you can see the minion spawns right here. If I go to circle the boss, it's going to follow me, so this is a good spot for me to be. So I can just keep going, and there you go, and then just defeat the minion and keep going. Alright, from here on out I'm just gonna use the Q and E at the same time. I blade 2 blade storms at the same time, just because both of them at the same time could easily take out a cluster of enemies. So you can see all these magicians just get completely annihilated by the 2 blade storms. Okay, you can see how I dodge right here. Because this is such a thin roadway, I have to go all the way to the end of the wall here in order to dodge the mages, because I know they're gonna shoot right here, and I have enough space to go over here just to dodge them. And then I wait for the shot to finish, then I circle around the bodyguards and into the magicians. And that's how I easily defeat them. And then this is just a bunch of warriors. All I do is just use a blade storm, take it back, and then circle around them. You can see that I did a little jump at the pole here. See, I did a little jump because I know that many times when I did this run, I tend to run into this lamp pole. So in order to avoid that, I jump so I don't. So I jump over this. There's like a little hitbox here, or a little. Yes, it's a hitbox, but I jump so I can avoid that hitbox, so I can avoid running to the pole. Because if I run to that pole, it's just game over. Alright, so carrying on to the second boss over here. This is probably the easiest fight that you'll have during the entire run. So I wait for it to cross, and then another cross. So what I notice about the cross is that it follows opposite. So typically if the line goes here, it's gonna go somewhere right over here, the angle. You can see like it goes opposite ways. Just remember where the line is, and then it's just gonna, you're gonna just have to move it. I'll show you what I mean in a minute. So but once those two crosses are finished, I use both my blade storms. And then right here, I usually stand still to wait and to see where he throws his axes, or the spread shot, whatever you like to call it. And then once I see where the spread shot is, I know how to avoid it. So you can see this one, I simply just cut back because I know if I keep going this way, it's gonna hit me. And then from there, you can see one cross here, the other one might be right here. I noticed that a lot. You can see I predicted the line here. It's easy to predict where he's gonna shoot his beam, so make sure to keep that in mind. And then right here, safe spot, nothing to worry about, just head to the safe spot. Of course, you see, I look at the positioning of this line. I know that the next cross will aim at me because I see how the distance between from my safe spot to the line over here can usually when I look at this distance, I know that the next shot's gonna hit me. So if you see right here, it's gonna be aimed directly at me because the crosses are not that close together. They're actually pretty spread apart. So knowing that, I have to prepare myself to know where the next shot is so I can dodge it. So this one I easily dodged. This one, because I was directly on me, I just have to move any direction. And then from here, just the way I dodge the cross attacks are typically I wait on the right or left side. When he strikes his first cross, then I move towards a horizontal direction for the next cross to dodge it. Pretty simple. And then that's the second boss. And then same strategy from after the first boss, use both blade storms, and then you should be good to go on from there. And that's the tactic I keep doing until I get to the final boss. But there is a section that I'd like to address because it's a pretty difficult section. So right here, simply just go all the way to the right, dodge the mages, and then circle around them, defeat the cluster, and then do that for the next one. This one right here, this is a little bit tougher because the mages can do something called future sniping, which is basically what I call it. It's basically where they, because typically you know how the mages are supposed to shoot behind you. Some will shoot in front of you and then you run into it. I call that future sniping. And that's the thing I fear during these runs because I have such low health and two of these snipes can easily take me out. So what I do is I use a blade storm to gain speed so I can dodge these beams easily without having to run into them. With regular speed, that's tough because you can get future sniped. And then just finish off the magicians pretty easily. Alright, so right here, this is a pretty tight roadway. So, and there's nowhere to circle around, especially with the bodyguards. I have to drag them back because I know if I circle, they're gonna come right at me, or I run to a lamppost and I die. Magicians are a little bit more lenient because they don't attack you physically. So I just go and then I just run around them pretty easily. Alright, this is the section that I've been wanting to talk about. There's a cluster over here that's right around the corner. This is probably one of the hardest cluster to get through without taking damage, but here's how I do it. So I wait for my cooldowns to go back, then I step forward and I see this magician right here. I want this magician to fire first so I get one shot off. Then I know there's 3 more over here, So I go and I track the first magician to shoot, and I know the first shot is off. Then I wait for the others to shoot, and you see right there, there are 3 shots being fired at that moment. Right there, 3 shots. And I know there's only 4, so 1 shot over here, 3 shots over there. All 4 have fired, so I can just go in. Pretty simple. And then that cluster is just simply defeated. Alright, and then moving on, I usually take top side because top side is the furthest from the door. So here, when I approach this first line of bodyguards, I only use 1 blade storm. And once I reach the second cluster, I use the second blade storm, just so I don't run out of speed. Because I know if I run out of speed, the bodyguards on the second cluster will easily annihilate me. So, and then there's only a little bit of magicians left after that, so I just defeat them all. And then the final cluster is the magicians, so they're pretty easy to handle. Just dodge their attack. I usually move all the way to the right here, and then I just use my double blade storm. Okay, so when I go into the boss, here's one thing I do. Immediately I turn to the right and I make sure I run all the way to this wall over here, because I know that the boss's vertical attack, the ones that go across like this, I know that they don't reach all the way to the end here, or I've never actually seen them reach all the way to the end over here. So that's why I go all the way to the wall. I wait for my cooldown to finish, then I go all the way to the wall over here, and then I run up until he starts attacking. And then once he starts his attack, and then I run towards him, because if I stay right here and the bubble, the safety bubble, which is what I call it, is way over there, I know I only have 8 seconds to get there, and while avoiding all his horizontal and vertical lines, I know I won't be able to get there in time, so I have to go to the center. So I try to find my way to the center before he summons his bubble. Once I'm close to him, he's gonna summon his bubble, and you see it's all the way on the left side. Now right here, I just typically try to avoid. I know I have 8 seconds, but I'm pretty close, so I just grab the bubble and go. Then I just stand right next to him and start attacking him, because I know the next attack is going to be a follow attack, just like the Pirate King's attack. You see, he summons his follow attack here. I just go around him, and then afterwards he's gonna summon his bubble again. I look for the bubble, and I usually stay close to him so I can get some extra damage in, just so when I come back from the bubble I can easily finish him off. And then I get the bubble, come back, and then finish him off, while also avoiding the attack. Okay, see this right here, this is a position that's pretty tough to be in. 2 lines, and he's gonna summon here. If I loop around like this, I'm gonna get hit by his follow attack. So the only option that I can do right now is to either go left or right, but here I decided to go right, and I got very lucky because this line luckily disappeared before I moved this way. So you can see I moved towards the right and it just disappeared. So I got really lucky with that, and now I can move to the left without taking any damage, and then just simply finish him off, and that's it. So basically, and then here's me just showing that I took 0 damage out of that whole fight. Anyways, but yeah, that's my route. Hopefully it's helped out some of you who are trying to solo or just trying to get perfect round. But this is just because I do a lot of damage. I'm doing about 100 million per tick on my blade storm. So I mean, like I think it's average 110 right now, but I'm gonna get better stuff soon, so we'll see if that's gonna go up and make things a lot easier. But for now, that's my route for doing the canals. Typically the last boss right here, it's all luck based, so the bubble could be on the right side, the bubble could be on the left side, depending on like where it spawns for your map specifically. For me, I had the unlucky incident where I had to run to the left side. Typically I like being on the right side, because you know how I'm on the wall here, and if he summons the bubble wall while I'm over here, I can just run to the bubble and just come to him easily. But if it's over on the left side, then that's a bit harder, because I have to go run to the bubble then run to him, which is gonna take a long time. But it's all based on luck. The first boss, the only luck based thing is the minion. Depending on if the minion is in a good spot or bad spot for me, that really is the deal breaker. Second boss really depends on the safe zone, really. If the safe zone is really close to him, I can just attack him. The range of my blade stone can easily hit him. if the safe zone's further away, I'm gonna have to actually wait like a couple more seconds and then run back to him. But first, second, and third boss all have some luck based thing. First boss for me is typically is minion based, second is the safe zone based, and third is basically where the bubble and where the line spawn. That's basically how I play canals. And for the rest of the clusters, they're pretty easy to handle, except for the, let me try to find it, except for this part right here, this this corner part. That's also luck based. Sometimes the mages will future snipe, sometimes you will get lucky where they will do a 3 snipe like that, but it's all based on your positioning within this corner. But yeah, that's basically my route. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, subscribe, and also leave a comment down below if you feel like it. There's going to be another stream on Monday, so tune in for that, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.